I saw this brilliant post the other day from the account Very British Problems. I don't know if you've seen them. They're on Threads now. They used to be on Twitter. In fact, they probably are still on Twitter. I'm not on there anymore. But on Threads, they shared this post, and I just thought, oh my God, that just sums up so many people's experience. So let me share it, and then I'll tell you about the context and how this showed up for me, and therefore how it might be useful for you to understand this journey. So the thing that they said was the absolute worst thing a British person can do is assume things are going well, as it's at this precise moment a large lump of excrement will hurl itself towards the nearest fan. Have you ever experienced that? I know that not long ago I did a series of videos about joy, and one of the things we talked about with that was how people have this lurking fear, this lurking doubt behind joy. Like they can't be too happy or too excited because what if dot dot dot. This well, literally like lurking doubt that says that if I enjoy myself too much, that lump of excrement will indeed hit the fan. And what then? What then? And it's a really horrible way to live. It's a really horrible way to live. It was what my experience was like before. So I lived with this lurking doubt, in fact, probably all my life. I only became really aware of it in recent years. And then I had an experience so we're in 24 just now, last year, so 2023, which really emphasized, really hurled that pile of excrement, not just a large lump, it was a whole pile of excrement at the fan. So I'm going to tell you about that today so that you can hear this and see if it resonates with your experience. And then you get to see what you want to do about that. So back in 23, back last year, sort of around springtime, I decided to start working with a business coach. It was all around being positive about your business. So there was a big emphasis on celebrating your business, celebrating your money wins, celebrating your results in general, and yeah, being upbeat, being positive, being I guess high vibe, they would say in spiritual land, but being, yeah, celebratory, celebrating all these successes, no matter what they were, no matter what size they were. That wasn't the emphasis. It was very much about just being in that energy of celebration, while also working on the tactics and the strategy. So what am I going to do in my business? And working on cleaning ourselves up energetically. And one of the reasons I went to her was because a big part of what she did was focus on that energetic alignment, which then supports all the doing of the doing. Whatever you're doing, whatever strategy, whatever tactic, if you're doing it from a place of clean energy and alignment, then it's going to work. If we've got anything going on inside of us, then it doesn't work. That's when it feels like there's excrement that's about to hit the fan. So every week in our mastermind calls, we would start with wins. We would start with this celebration, and it was good and it was fun. And I would enjoy thinking about what I was going to take to the call. And if I couldn't think of anything to take to the call, I always enjoyed the fact that somebody would say something and that would spark something for me. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I had this win this week. I have this that I want to celebrate. But with some of that, there was this yeah, just that lurking doubt was still there. Some of them I could easily just celebrate and go, oh yeah, this was awesome, this was awesome. Other ones, it was like there was a little bit of forcedness to it. There was a little bit of like, I'm celebrating this because I think I should. Like I got this income, or I met this person, or I got this new client. And it was like, yeah, I'm meant to be celebrating this, but I'm not fully feeling it. It's like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing on the surface, but lurking in the background is this doubt, is this question mark, which feels like that lump of excrement, which if I celebrate this too much, if I get too cocky, if I get too carried away, then this lump of excrement may well land on the fan, and then I will be covered in it. So while working with her, of course, then I was also doing this energetic work, this cleaning up work, which was similar to internal family systems. And it was supporting me at that time to, I guess, stop running away from my experience. It was really supporting me to get in and down into the body and lighten some of this heaviness, to unravel and untangle some of the tangle, fundamentally. There's no other word for it, of thoughts and feelings and experiences. And through that, almost a year ago, in fact, just over a year ago, through that, I came to what I thought was a belief. So in that process, I saw and got visibility of this, as I say, what I thought was a belief. I am wrong. And it was such a moment of sense making. It was such a moment of, oh my God, well, if that's there, then that makes so much sense of this lurking doubt and this question mark that sits in the back of my experience all the time. It followed me everywhere. If I posted something, there'd be this doubt, wondering, will anybody see it? Will anybody read it? Checking, has anybody liked? Has anybody commented? If I was offering something, a new program, a new course, I would start off with enthusiasm and conviction. And then if that wasn't met with the world, which in fact it couldn't be because I had this lurking doubt, when that wasn't met with the world, then my enthusiasm would die, my conviction would fade away, and less people would be interested. I would also doubt what I was offering and doubt what I was talking about and think, am I saying this? Does this make sense? Does anybody get this? Is anybody listening to this? Does anybody care? Should I just shut up? Oh, but I don't seem to be able to shut up. I keep talking, I keep saying stuff, I keep sharing stuff, but it keeps coming with this doubt, it keeps coming with this lurking question mark. And it was fairly quiet. Like it, as I say, it didn't stop me doing stuff. It wasn't a big enough doubt that I stopped taking action in the world, but it was like laced behind everything I did. It was like the foundation on which everything was being built. So of course nothing could come to an amazing full fruition because it was all built on this shaky ground. So working with that coach was absolutely brilliant because it really emphasized the gap. So she was great at celebrating the good stuff. And I did feel better overall while I was working with her. I was shifting my attention from always looking to what was wrong into looking to what was good. I was shifting my attention into what was possible and what I could achieve, what could be done. But then that big lump of excrement did actually hit the fan. Because in trying to be positive, in trying to overlay what was a negative foundation with something positive and upbeat and abundant and creative, without being on a true foundation of abundance, that excrement did indeed go flying towards the fan. And it was bigger than I've ever experienced before. Again, the perfection of being in a situation where the good stuff was being emphasized that brilliantly emphasizes the rubbish stuff. And so this extreme experience of failure landed in my whole system. I was absolutely distraught. The tears, that gut punch in the stomach of feeling like such a failure, feeling like I was so wrong. The sobbing that happened, the extreme sense of rejection, wanting to retreat from the world, but feeling like I couldn't because of what I was doing at the time. My just absolute horror at this situation. And of course, it was perfect. Because this was the reality. This was the actual reality of what my experience was at the time. And it was perfect, as I said before, that this positivity and this yay, rah, rah, celebrate, in emphasizing that and really going for that, it forced this negativity up to the surface. It forced these shaky, doubtful, fearful, I'm wrong foundations. It forced all of that up to the surface. And in fact, it led me into another exploration. That moment was a defining moment where I actually said to that coach, I'm not continuing with you. There is something much deeper, something much bigger going on here. And I need to handle that. and what we're doing here isn't helping me handle that. I knew there was something very deeply energetic with this that no amount of talking was going to solve, not even internal family systems kinds of approaches. I knew it was so much deeper than that. I knew it was something that I couldn't get to through something like that. And so, in a roundabout the houses kind of way, I went into some other energy work and ultimately found myself in the world of the Mace energy method. And this was it. This was the thing. I knew it as soon as I heard about it. I knew this was the thing. And indeed, the word identities, I knew that was the thing. I didn't know at that time that this I am wrong was actually an identity. I didn't know that was the thing that was going to come up. At this point, I still thought that was a belief, and fine. Probably it was a belief as well. But when I then came to my first sessions, my foundation sessions with the Mace Energy Method, that was the very decision that came up that created a whole identity of I am wrong. Not just a belief, a whole full-blown identity. Not just something I was thinking, not just something that was an idea. It was fully like, this is who I am. Me. I am fundamentally wrong was so strongly in my system that I really thought it was who I am. There was no separation from it. There was no distinction of me and this. It just looked like it was me. And it had been sitting there quietly in the background, driving all of this negativity in my life, quietly determining the results I got, quietly making it feel icky or yucky or not quite right to be celebrating. Feeling like that lump of excrement in the background, that no matter what I did in the foreground, that's going to hit the fan. And like, there's nothing I can do about it. That's how it felt. There's nothing I can do. How do I do something about this? I can't get to it. What is this thing? There's something there. I know it's driving everything I'm experiencing, but how do I get to it? Because all I keep seeing is the result of it. All I keep seeing is that I feel off. I feel out of alignment. I'm seeing the result of it in my world in terms of not getting appreciation reflected back. I'm not getting money reflected back. I'm not getting celebration reflected back. Or if I was, I wasn't fully receiving it because I couldn't, because I believed I was wrong. So it's like I knew that that was driving the whole thing. And it was only when the Mace Energy Method came along that I was like, oh, this, yes, this is the thing I need to solve this. This is the thing I need to get cleared up and cleaned up of this negativity. So I can stop posting in the world with this doubt. So I can stop sharing in the world with this constant question mark of, is this the right thing to be saying? And afterwards thinking, oh my goodness, was that the right thing? What will people think? Will somebody be upset by this? Am I positioning myself wrong? Am I too much of this? Am I not enough of that? All of that was part of that same negative identity. That was all the manifestation of it. And so now, thanks to that, even just my very first two Mace Energy Method sessions, and I have had plenty since, they've continued to bring increasing delight to my life. But even after just those first two sessions, in the clearing of that I am wrong identity, so much opened up, so much freedom, so much clarity about things I'd been doing in the avoidance of I am wrong, or in a desperate attempt to try and cover up this I am wrong identity, trying to be like this in order that nobody will ever see it, compensating for it over here in order that nobody ever gets a clue that that's who I actually am. Of course, it wasn't who I actually am, but that's how it looked prior to this. And so I now get to just do stuff. It sounds so simple. You might even be thinking that sounds a bit boring, but it's so not, because now you get to just do stuff and enjoy doing stuff and learn from the stuff that you're doing. And then based on what you're learning and what you're enjoying and what you're noticing, then you do more stuff and you get to do more of what you enjoy and you get to keep learning more stuff. And then you'll do another more stuff. And so your world expands because you're now just moving forward and forward and forward, exploring and doing and learning, just like we were designed for, just like you see little kids being. We forgot that in amongst all of these negative identities we took on. That's who we naturally are, this expression of life, doing and learning and progressing and moving and enjoying all of it for the enjoyment of it. So what I really, really recommend to you is first of all to notice if this is you. First of all, notice if this is your experience. If you're one of these people that the Very British Problems team were speaking to, saying that if it feels like, if I celebrate life in any way, if I enjoy myself in any way, if I do anything or recognize anything that seems to be going well, if it feels like doing that is going to lead to this lurking excrement hitting the fan, then know that there is a solution. There absolutely is a solution. And if the one that feels so right for you is the Mace Energy method, as it did for me, then please, please get yourself booked in for your foundation sessions. Whether that's with me or with one of the other many practitioners around the world, please, please get yourself free from that lurking doubt that is not who you are, that is not normal. Let me correct that, is not natural. It's very normal. Most of the world are walking around with that. It's not natural. It's not the truth of who you are. It's not the real you. And if you are so done with not being able to just enjoy your life and keep moving forward and learning and loving it and enjoying it all, if you're so done with not being able to do that, if you're so done with constantly having this doubt, this question, this second guessing, this inability to just celebrate what you're doing and enjoy what you're doing, if you're so done and you want to be free and enjoy your life, then please, please, please book yourself in, get your foundation sessions in. We'd so love to get you free as well, so you can get on with enjoying your life. Much love. Thank you again to Very British Problems for their post to inspire this, and I hope it's been useful for you. Lots of love.